What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Beat the Buzzer podcast. We got a lot of great topics to talk about today. Graham, I'm here with my co-host, Jack.
Welcome back, everyone. We're excited to jump into the latest news of the NBA. Quick reminder, if you've not already subscribed, please make sure to do so. It really helps us out. Again, we have a lot of time to talk about today, so we're going to start off with the Bulls' struggles against the top teams in the league. We'll move into the success of the Embiid and Harden duo so far, discuss Morant's insane play in Memphis, and then there's some trade rumors circulating around Anthony Davis, so we're going to jump into those as well.
Yeah, and since we have a lot to talk about today, we're going to try and keep each topic to a 4-minute time limit. So,
yeah, we're going to start off with the Bulls. We're going to talk about a little bit about the game yesterday and then jump into their struggles with all good teams in the league. You can start that off now. Graham, I'll start the timer for you, and you can go ahead.
All right, so we played the Miami Heat yesterday, that is. We are a total 2-13 against teams over 500. And I
Over
think
600,
it's
I think.
Yeah, 600. I think it might be worse when it's 600. I'm not really sure, but it's overall just really bad. If you look at the box score, it's only a 13-point loss, but it was much worse than that because every starter went out with like 8 or 9 minutes left to go in the game.
Exactly.
We really just got out-coached, out-hustled, and out-executed. They just look like a better team than us who just wants it more. Defensively, they're just levels ahead of us. We got killed by Gabe Vincent tonight, who seemed like he couldn't miss a three. I don't know how that happens. But yeah, really just not a good look for the Chicago Bulls overall. 2-13 against these teams is just not going to cut it.
Yeah, and I don't want to take away anything from the Miami Heat because they're a great team. Neither of us are saying we should beat them every time. But I feel like it should be more evenly matched than it was, and we've been outplayed by them 2 out of 3 games we've played this year. The third one we lost as well, but at least we were competitive. This one we can't blame on Alonzo, Caruso, or P. Will. Will they have helped? Yes, but we just got outplayed. We got out-hustled in every aspect of the game, and that caught up with us because recently we're just relying on DeMar and Zach to really carry us to wins, and when you play good teams, it's not going to work. I liked the game against Memphis when we at least, we kept playing. We were down big, but then we brought back into the game, and we played well still. So I liked that, but the game against Miami last night was atrocious. We looked terrible. At the beginning of the season, we won games like Miami did. We out-hustled teams. We played good defense. We didn't win just based off our offense or DeMar and Zach, and now we're trying to win that way, and it's not going to work. There's really no excuses for that loss. It was terrible.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's a little bit of a reality check for us. Who knows? We'll see, but we're just really not on their level yet. Not to mention they didn't have Kyle Lowry or Victor Oladipo, who's supposed to come back within coming weeks, I think. Yeah. And then they didn't have one of the Morris brothers, who has been out all year, and I'm not sure what his timetable for return is. But yeah, those are 3 key guys for them who just weren't playing either. So I don't think we can blame it on injuries or anything.
No, it's just a bad game overall, and we'll be shown quickly. We're tested the next couple of weeks. We have Atlanta again, I think tomorrow, and then Milwaukee Friday and Philly right after that. So the schedule doesn't get any easier for us, but it's also, I like the reality check because we need to be put in check. We need to realize that we're not on the same level as some of these teams. And even if we are healthy, we'd still get outplayed like we did last night. Last night was more about effort than it was about Miami being better than us.
Yeah, it really was. I think people I don't really know. I don't necessarily want to call out anybody because it was more of like a team effort right there. But, Io has shown spurts of he's still a rookie, and he's playing 39 minutes a game as a rookie. What other rookie besides Scotty Barnes and Evan Mobley, both top 5 picks, are playing 35 plus minutes for a playoff team? I mean, Nobody's doing that. So yes, injuries are definitely a problem, and the help is on the way, like we've said before. But yeah, in the time being, we really gotta pick it up for now.
Yeah, no, last night really showed us that we are not on the same level as these teams. And you and I for weeks have been giving them excuses, just wait for everyone to return. People are coming back. But last night, I'm not going to use that as an excuse because we would have been beat with our roster fully healthy last night as well.
Yep, 100%.
But I guess quickly before the timer runs out on this topic, Caruso and P. Will have both started on-court activities again, and they will be hopefully back on the court, ready to play 2 to 3 weeks for Caruso, probably 3 weeks or so for P. Will. Yeah. and Lonzo's probably at the end of the month as well. So,
yeah, help is on the way, but we really have, like you said, have a tough schedule coming up. So we'll see.
Let's move on to the Embiid and James Harden duo, which has looked fantastic in the first two games together. I'll start that timer right now, 4 minutes as well. I'm going to start this one off. I thought that there'd be a learning curve, and clearly there was not. Harden has had over 25 in both games. I think he's had over 10 assists in both games as well. And Embiid looks the same. I will say the 76ers will be no fun to watch if Embiid's going to start shoot 30 free throws a game, because he shot over 30 against the Knicks, which is terrible to watch. That was boring. Some of the calls he didn't deserve. I know he's an MVP caliber player, but to shoot 30 free throws in a game is just ridiculous. And I hope it's not like that in the playoffs, because it's going to be absurd to have to sit through those games and watch him get calls he really should not be getting.
Yeah, I agree. I saw a stat that both of them, both Harden and Embiid combined, have shot more free throws in their first two games together than 21 other teams in their first two games coming out of the All-Star break. That's not very fun to watch. That sounds like a 5-hour game to me, if just two players are shooting more free throws than 21 other teams. But yeah, regardless of that, they look really good. I'm sure 76ers fans don't care how much Embiid and Harden get fouled. But yeah, triple-double for Harden, 16 assists, I think. He looks like he's playing his first couple games in Brooklyn again, or Houston Harden when he's trying, right? Once he gets to a place where he really wants to be, it seems like he wants to turn it on. People seem to forget that he was in MVP conversations last year before he got hurt.
Yeah.
He was playing really good basketball. Like, he was not scoring 36 a game, but like assisting like 15 assists a game and grabbing boards, like averaging a triple-double. So you can't sleep on James Harden. He's really good. And another thing about the 76ers is I thought that Tyrese Maxey would take like a backseat. And while he has definitely, I thought his game would kind of not flourish as much, but he's played really well off ball for them. Surprisingly.
Yeah, I was just about to touch on that. Tyrese Maxey seems to have not missed a beat since this trade has happened, but Tobias Harris has struggled in the two games that Harden has played with them, and that's expected. One of the guys is going to take a hit, but I don't know if Tobias Harris can be happy in that role. I guess if you win a ring, he probably won't care, but if he can figure it out, they're really scary. But also, it was the Timberwolves and the Knicks they played. Timberwolves have been better this year, but they're still the Timberwolves, and the Knicks have been one of the biggest disappointments in the league. So I'm not going to get ahead of myself. They have looked great together, but I want to see what they look like against good teams, like top caliber teams in the NBA, before I really say, yeah, these guys are probably the top contender in the league right now for championship.
Right. And eventually they've only played 2 games together and they look amazing, like you said. And again, like you said, it's not against the best teams in the league. But, you know, as they keep playing, the chemistry is going to get better and Tobias Harris will find his role no matter what. I know he gets paid like $36 million. He's maybe worth about 18 now, maybe half of that. I think he's the fourth option. I think Tyrese Maxey is better. Also, Tyrese Maxey had a quote saying like, I'm getting looks right now that I've like never gotten in my career before, which is just insane.
Embiid said the same thing.
Right.
He said he's never been more wide open in his entire career.
Yeah, the magic of James Harden is something else.
Yeah, they're going to be a scary team. I think if it doesn't work, they're going to be the top team to beat in the East, because Embiid's just – you don't have an answer for Embiid. You can throw some guys at Harden, throw him looks, but I don't think anyone in the NBA has an answer for Embiid because he has Kevin Durant-based skills with Shaq-type body, and that's just scary.
Chicago can beat him, though.
Yeah, exactly. Throw Nikola Vucevic on him.
Yeah.
That'll work. He sucks since the All-Star break, by the way.
Oh, yeah, he's bad.
Yeah. All right. We'll talk about that later. We'll talk about that another time, but yeah. Let's move on to the Ja Morant games recently. He killed us. He killed us. He killed us the other night. 46 points, carried them to a win pretty much by himself. Desmond Bane was shit that game. Steven Adams was pretty good, but didn't give him Ja Morant type numbers, and that was absurd. And then he came out against San Antonio last night, had 52 points, and had maybe 2 of the best plays of the season with his dunk over Jakob Poeltl and his insane 0.4 second chip shot. That was insane. So He's probably a top 3 candidate for MVP right now. He's got the Memphis Grizzlies at third best record in the league and the third best record in the West. I think they have a real shot at getting the second seed in the West right now. The Warriors dropped a game to Dallas the other day. And Memphis also does not have a very tough schedule. Their schedule is pretty easy. It's against like subpar and like below 500 teams coming up. So they're a scary team to play in the playoffs. And I would not want to play them, especially with how Ja Morant is playing right now.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, he's been the best point guard in the league this year. I really don't think there's any other way around that. And like you said, I do agree he's top 3 in MVP. Career highs in back-to-back nights. 46 against the Chicago Bulls. Oh, gosh. And 52 last night against the San Antonio Spurs. And mind you, Io just held Trae Young to 3 for 17, and we know how good defensively DeJounte Murray is. Just tore them up. I'm going to give some credit to Steven Adams because that man is an actual oak tree. Like,
he's the best screener in the NBA.
By far. I haven't seen anybody better. He's so good at it. And not going to lie, Bam's pretty good too because half their offense is just Duncan Robinson running.
But they don't got the explosiveness. Like, the Heat don't have the point guard to come off that screen. Like, Ja Morant really does remind you of Derrick Rose and Joakim Noah. Joakim Noah was one of the best screeners in the league in his time. And Derrick Rose was what Ja Morant is now. Maybe like the best like non-big at scoring below the free throw line. Can finish in multiple ways, has a shot if is left open, and can find his teammates anytime he wants. And crazy athleticism too.
That dunk was something else last night. It was crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, really good player, and I do agree. I think he has to be in your top 3 for MVP right now. And with the way Phoenix is playing right now, who knows? They could maybe make a run for that 1 seed.
Yeah, Phoenix is struggling more than I thought they would without Chris Paul.
Yeah, same.
And Memphis continues to play well and better than anyone expected to this season.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I want to go back to the MVP ranking right now because I think the top 3, in my opinion, would be, in no particular order, would be Embiid, DeRozan, and Ja. And we've seen that every week it could change.
It really can.
Like, you can tell, you can disagree, but Embiid, like last week, I think DeRozan probably had it first because of his streak. This week, I'd say it was Ja. And before the All-Star break, I would say it was probably Embiid still because Embiid was 30 points all the time, 15 rebounds. Like, he came out and gave it to Giannis before the All-Star break. So I guess you have Jokic and Giannis in there too, but they're not top 5 in my opinion right now.
Yeah, I agree. I think
top 3, sorry.
The recency bias on the MVP award is just insane. Like last week, you might not have said Ja's top 5, and 2 weeks ago before the All-Star break, you don't say DeRozan's top 3. But it's really hard to like argue those guys out of there, and then you still have guys like Giannis and Jokic at 4 and 5.
Well, and that's the problem with the MVP is this season it's going to be a week-by-week thing. It's not going to be like this guy's been this much better.
Right. Because no matter what, at the end of the year, when they give that MVP out, there's going to be 3 or 4 fan bases that are pissed that their guy didn't.
Right. All right. Now let's move into a topic that I didn't think we'd be talking about, at least in the offseason. But the reports came out that Anthony Davis, if he were to be traded, because remember, he has the no trade clause, so he can determine where he wants to go.
Right.
He said he would want to go to the Chicago Bulls. Now, I don't know how I'm going to start a timer for 4 minutes here, but we may end up going over because I know you and I have a lot to talk about on this.
I'm thinking about it right now. We're going over that.
I would like Anthony Davis, but I have a couple untouchable players. I will not give up Levine, DeMar, or Patrick Williams. Now, Lonzo Ball also is very close to being an untouchable for me. So what does that leave for us to trade? It leaves Kobe White, Nikola Vucevic. It leaves Javonte Green.
Yeah.
And Ayo Dosunmu is also in that players that I would not want to trade, but be okay with letting go, despite him being a young star in the future. Because the Lakers, if they were to trade Anthony Davis, they don't want to just rebuild. They want to win now because they intend on keeping LeBron, which means they want, like, Vooch would help them win now. I feel like Kobe White would be a good piece for that. They'd probably want Lonzo in that package, though. I assume you agree with me on that. But
yeah, I definitely think it's going to be more than just the people saying it's going to be Vooch and Kobe. I don't see how that's good for them. Also, another thing about the Lakers is they have no draft capital. I think their next pick that they can trade is in 2027. So, I mean, who knows? Maybe they want that. To be fair, the Bulls don't have much draft capital at all.
No, we do not.
But I do think that, I mean, who knows? You can throw in that Portland pick, which we will definitely have this year, and see what happens. But I don't want to give up Lonzo Ball, like you said.
Yeah.
I agree.
So, and both of us, neither of us think that what we have right now is not good enough to win. I think this year we are a team that are contenders and can win it all with this roster, especially if you give us another year with the development of Lonzo, development of P. Will, and people getting better and getting to know each other more. But this would be something definitely to look at in the offseason because Anthony Davis's contract is $38 million a year, so you got to match contracts. Vooch is getting paid will be $24 million next year. I think we talked about this before.
Yeah, it goes down. I think
it's 22 or 24 next year, and then Kobe's is around 6 or 7 million right now. So that puts you around.
I think his goes up next year to
right. So that puts you around 30 million. You got to throw in probably another piece that's getting paid some money on your teams. That's gonna be like a Derrick Jones Jr. type of guy. But that's too little for the Lakers. Yeah. The Lakers are going to at least try to get Lonzo and Vooch. The Bulls won't give away Levine, DeMar, and P. Will. But I think everyone else, if our front office looked at this trade, would probably look at everyone besides those three guys I just said to be in that deal.
Yeah, here's the thing. There's two sides of this. Anthony Davis is 29. He's in the prime of his career. And when you look at what the Lakers gave up for him, it was Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, and then a bunch of picks, right?
And Josh Hart.
But the other side of it, so that's a lot of value that you gave up right there. And then the other side of it is he hasn't played basketball in 2 years. He has played basketball,
but he hasn't been healthy.
But he hasn't been healthy and been himself in 2 years since that bubble. But he's 29. He's in the prime of his career, hopefully, and he's a big, big, big step up for me, in my opinion, over Nikola Vucevic. Defensively, the Chicago Bulls, and if he can hit a mid-range shot, he's doing just as well as Vooch because Vooch isn't hitting anything.
Right. When Davis is healthy, he is a top 5 or top 3 big in the league, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He's fully healthy, and he can be a top 5 player when he uses all his skills and assets. It's just, can he stay on the floor, and is he going to be the Anthony Davis that we know he can be?
Right.
It's also the difference in this trade from the Pelicans trade is we are going to go over time here. Is they have LeBron James still. They're going to be win now, not win later, and the Pelicans were okay with being win later, which is why they took Lonzo and them. The Lakers in return are going to want guys like Vucevic, Lonzo. They'd probably ask for Levine or Kobe or P. Will because they want to win.
They will.
They will. And I don't remember Levine's got to sign a contract here this summer still, so we got to see how that goes. But I'm not all for Anthony Davis because even getting him gives up players I don't really want to give up, and he has questions coming in. But it's interesting to think about because you think about the high value Davis can have, and if he is what he can be, he immediately makes us championship contenders, maybe even favorites.
Yeah, here's the thing. He doesn't have to leave, and these are just hypotheticals, really. But another hypothetical that has been going around is this LeBron James leaving in free agency rumors.
And he won't.
I don't think he will necessarily. Who would want to leave LA, especially when you're 38?
Right. At this point in his career, he's staying there.
Right, until
his
son gets drafted in the league. Correct.
But the Lakers' only move at this point is to trade Davis because no one wants Westbrook, and you're not going to trade away LeBron James. Right.
They're a little bit screwed financially right now. So, and I don't know. I think the Bulls, this would obviously take them into the luxury tax, but I don't know if we can necessarily eat contracts for them. We will have some guys off the books, and Levine still's only getting paid $20 million. So technically, I think if we make this trade before signing Levine, we won't be in the cap, or we won't be over the cap yet. So we can make the trade, eat about $5 to $7 million, which is Kobe and Vooch.
Yeah.
That's going to take us to around 33. So we need an extra. We can eat that $5 million for the Lakers, and then re-sign LaVine due to the bird rights.
But we're not gonna trade LaVine before we sign him because he's unrestricted. He can sign wherever he wants.
Right.
Well, and that's also why we're not gonna give him. They'd want Lonzo because that would also match contracts. You'd have to give up Lonzo because of contracts, or DeMar, but I don't want to give up DeMar, especially how he's been playing this year.
Let me ask you something. Are you willing to pay Zach LaVine $36 million for 4 years? Yeah? No hesitation.
Because I don't want him to leave. I think DeMar and Zach as a core are a great core, and that's why I don't want to give up Lonzo either. I really don't want to do this trade. I think it's interesting to think about this trade for Davis, but I don't think it's good because Lonzo has so much upside. You know what Davis can be, and you also know what Davis can't be is when he gets hurt.
Yeah, I don't think Lonzo is a option for us at all. Yeah. And I don't know how we can deal with 4 guys.
Right.
1 guy getting paid 20 and 3 guys getting paid over 20.
And so. LaVine still has room to grow in his career too. He turned 27 this year.
He's 27. Yes.
Right, which means he's right in the prime of his career for the next 6 years or so. He's going to be in his prime. And I think he can still get better. He can still become a better playmaker. He can still become a better defender. He's one of the best tough shot makers in the league, and he can only get better from here. And playing with DeMar helps him as well. So
yeah, I don't really necessarily think that this was in the Bulls' plans. Also, Vooch is a free agent after next year. Right.
And that's when I'd look at something for like a better big. But that's also when Jokic is a free agent. And if anyone doesn't know, Arturas Karnisovas is our GM. He drafted Jokic. So if Jokic is in a Bulls uniform in 2 years, Graham and I called it here first.
Yeah, don't be surprised. You heard it here first. Beat the Buzzer podcast.
Right. All right. We went way over, so we'll end it there for today. That's going to be all. Yeah, thanks, guys, for tuning in. If you guys enjoyed and want to drop a like on the video, please do. Again, if you guys can subscribe, it'd be great for our channel. You can also follow us on Twitter at @beat_the_buzzer. And our TikTok is just at @beatthebuzzer as well if you want to give that a follow or check that out.
Yeah, the TikTok is really popping right now, a little bit more than Twitter. But lastly, if there are any topics you guys want to talk about or thoughts that you have about the episode, please leave a comment down below. Thanks for tuning in, and we will catch you guys next time.